So, you've got your major picked out, and you think you know what you want to do. And right now, your focus is on just getting through your classes. Makes total sense, right? Career stuff, we'll figure that out later. Like, we'll get there maybe next year. There's time. Except, here's the thing. Later has a way of sneaking up on you. And when it does, you might not be ready. So today on Study With Me, I'm sitting down with Marie Wixner from Career Services to talk about why the best time to start thinking about your career is right now. So Marie, welcome to Study With Me. If you would tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to work at GCC.
Well, thanks. I'm glad to be here with you. I've worked in higher ed since about 2006, in addition to running a summer camp program. 3 years ago, I was looking for some new opportunities, and I came to GCC in the Pathway to Success program, which was a grant that I worked with rural high school students as a student success coach. As that grant came to an end, I transitioned to my current role as the Career Services Coordinator.
Okay. So, lots of background working with students. So before we get into everything you do over at Career Services, I want to start with something that you believe in pretty strongly, and I've heard you say this repeatedly, and I'm like, okay, we have to lead with this. That's that students should not wait until they're close to graduation to start thinking about their careers. So tell us about that.
I cannot say this often enough. So it has become, since I started in Career Services, my very first pro tip for career readiness. Start early. You are in college to prepare for your career. Maybe that is 2 years away, or maybe it's 4 years away, or maybe 6 years. But it is always on the horizon and within reach. I always tell students to start a spreadsheet, keep track of dates and places and experiences that they've had to get those resume components started. It's hard to remember every date and every achievement and the years that those happened when you are 5 or 7 years down the road from that achievement. When I applied for the camp director role, I had to try and recreate 45 years of places that I lived and worked.
Wow.
It was challenging. I spent a lot of time on Google Earth trying to find addresses for where I lived. Start now. Create that spreadsheet. Put in your classes. Put in your achievements. Did you make the dean's list? Get that on there. Then you'll have the start of a very solid resume and a record of your achievements.
Oh, that actually, I've run into that, and it's really smart when I've done, so I do costuming a little bit for theater, and, what are some of the previous productions you've worked on? Okay. Let me think about that for a minute, because I know what I've worked on. Oh, wait, I missed one. Oh, wait, what year was that? I don't remember.
Years can be really, really important when you're working out your resume and or your achievements.
Right. So it really makes so much sense. And I think a lot of students kind of assume that career prep is something you do at the end, like the final step before you walk out the door. So we're talking now to students who are thinking, well, I just want to get through my classes right now. I don't have time for this. Right?
I completely understand that. And that's why when I was in my 40s and going to be a camp director, that's why it took me 3 days on Google Earth to recreate my resume. So it's a simple step. It doesn't have to take you hours and hours like it did me. Mm-hmm. But it's not a big lift. These small steps of creating that spreadsheet will make a huge difference later.
So less about adding like some huge thing to your plate, but more about just sort of getting a head start in manageable ways, making notes, making dates. Like what kind of might that look like? What's an example of what that would look like in practice?
Take some small concrete steps early, right? Start thinking about your resume. Right now, I bet a lot of you are thinking, well, I don't really have a resume. I haven't worked a lot of jobs. I haven't done anything important yet, right? But that isn't true. With every experience you have earned or achieved or learned some skills, soft skills, hard skills. Start that early. Start thinking about that early. Explore what your career field is going to look like by using tools like onetonline.org. It's great, great resource.
What's that again?
ONETONLINE.org. ONET Online. It's a government website.
Okay.
It helps you figure out what each different career looks like. There's thousands of them. You plug in something, it'll give you a whole bunch of choices, and then it'll tell you what kind of things will you do in this job? What are your tasks? Or what kind of person thrives in a job like this? What kind of things do they need? Like good listening skills, good communication skills. Go to ONET Online. Also, go to career fairs. Network early. Networking is out of many of our comfort zones. So start that early. Talk to people in your industry. You may find that you're putting all this effort into these classes directing you towards this career. And when you get there, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can work with blood. I can't be a nurse. Or, oh my goodness, I can't. This is boring. I don't want to sit in a cubicle. So all of these are easy, low time commitment ways to get you career ready.
Now I'm going to go off the beaten path for a little bit and talk about, we have a social media internship here in our office at Online Learning because we have 5 different social media accounts and constantly have campaigns running. And so we have a social media intern, and I remember talking to one of our interns one semester, and she said, well, I'm looking at this entry-level position, and they want so many months of experience, and I don't have any experience. And I'm like, well, you have 3 months of experience. Well, no, I don't. It's like, well, what have you been doing with us for 3 months?
Exactly. Exactly. As we're sitting there with a blank sheet of paper or a blank computer screen in front of us thinking about a resume, we're like, well, I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
That's not true. All of us have done something.
Right.
And that's where you start.
All right. So let's talk about some of our older students then. Is there a version of career prep that works when you're a student who's juggling work and family on top of going to school?
It's a challenge, that's for sure. I did that when I started my undergrad work. I had 2 kids. I was a full-time wife, mother, and I had a job. Got really challenging. What helped me was I tried to break those bigger tasks, write a resume, into smaller tasks, like add something to your spreadsheet of a date, a time, what you did. And so I also committed to doing 15 to 30 minutes per week. And of course, I did more when I could, not very often, but because. And then make that your time to complete one small step. Whether it's look for a job fair that you might want to attend. And there's a lot of virtual opportunities for that.
Right.
Look at your spreadsheet. See if it's current or if something needs to be added. 15 to 30 minutes per week, but make it something you don't cheat on.
Right. I'll tell you something that really changed a whole lot for me. And part of this is because I'm in the educational field. So I'm always going off to conferences and I'm giving presentations. Might be here at GCC, or it might be statewide, or it might be a national conference, or it might be a virtual conference. But I'm constantly doing these presentations, and there are things that I should be putting on my resume and my CV. And yes, it's audience at home who cannot see, Maria just pointed at me like, yep, you're yes. Well, one of my mentors here on campus said, put your resume online, a WordPress site, a Google site, a Wix site, like pick something. But put your resume online, and then every time you do something, you can put it in there right away. And every time I get approved, I just got approved for a presentation in May that I'm going to Long Island for. And guess what? It went in my file. It went on my website already. And yeah, I still have to update the paper resume, but it's a lot easier to just like stick it in there while you're thinking about it, as opposed to trying to recreate that whole giant list from scratch.
Yep. And that's, again, where break those big things into those small tasks that you can do in 15 to 30 minutes each week. And you'll find you're so much more confident and comfortable with that resume process when you've done that.
Right. Yeah, I kind of block off a little bit of time on Friday to do that. So, all right. So we've got it down, not big chunks, little bits at a time, and keep it moving and start early. So now let's talk about what Career Services does. So you're our Career Services coordinator, right?
Yep, that's the title.
Okay. And I think a lot of students don't realize what's available to them and what your office actually does. So can you share with us some of those things that you do for students?
We're pretty much a one-stop shop. We do a lot. I can help you create or revise your resume. I can help with job searching. Talked about onet.org. That's a great place. I use that a lot with my students to help them explore different careers. I can do one-on-one appointments. I can do interview prep. That's always fun. I love helping students prepare for their interviews. I can do cover letters. I can do workplace readiness skills. I do career fairs here for the college. And in general, I try to respond within 24 hours, unless it's the weekend. I can sometimes accommodate walk-ins, but usually it's better if we have an appointment and in person or Zoom. I love it either way.
Okay. So let's take a student who's never really thought about their resume before, because we have a lot of traditional age students here. We even have some high school age students here. So they've never written the resume. They've never done anything. Never put pen to paper when it comes to resume. Where do you start with them?
So at this point, if a student has never written a resume, we start with listing their experiences in 5 different categories that we've identified where they could be amassing learning skills. Work experiences, and sometimes there's not a lot of those at this time. Their academics, classes they're taking, awards and achievements. Holy cow, guys, put the dean's list on that resume. Seriously. So many people were like, oh, I didn't know I could put that on. Yes, you can. Volunteer or community experience and clubs, leaderships, and extracurriculars. Those are the 5 places. Thinking about clubs. Say you're in a club and you've been elected the president. That is phenomenal leadership experience. And we can find ways to create that experience on your resume that makes sense to employers. So every experience you have in any of those categories gives you skills and talents that you can use on your resume. Today, employers are looking for hard skills. Can you do Word? Can you do this program or that? For sure. But they are also looking for soft skills, learned through a variety of experiences. I have had so many employers say to me, I can teach Word, I can't teach how to be a good communicator, or I can't teach how to be a good team player.
Right.
So those soft skills are becoming more and more crucial.
Right, and that's absolutely spot on, because before I came to GCC, I would hire programmers. And so it's like, okay, do you know, most of our coding back then used to be in PHP, MySQL. So it'd be like, it's all this alphabet soup. But it's like, do you know PHP, MySQL? Do you have any certification in that? Can you show me any code that you've written? Okay, great. But we didn't always hire the best person in that area, we very often hired the person who we thought would be a best fit for the team, who can communicate,
Yes.
who can update, who can work at distance and in person and collaborate effectively together. Because I can teach you the alphabet soup on the job. I can't teach you, I can, but it's much harder to teach you to be a good communicator.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or a good team player, or, showing up on time to work, or any of those soft skills that we don't think are quite as important, but they are.
All right. So, good skills. Let's talk about online students and how would online students connect with you. You said you had virtual drop-ins?
I do. They're not quite drop-ins, but I have a virtual. I am happy to send a Zoom link. We'll set up an appointment, send a Zoom link. I often will ask a student, send me what we want to work on. Do you want to work on a resume? Do you want to work on a cover letter? Send me what you got. No judgment. And then we can take it from there. But I can be prepared for that meeting when I have something that I know we're working on. So career@genesee.edu comes directly to me. Okay. And I usually respond very quickly and set up those appointments.
So career singular, no S at the
No
end.
S.
Career@genesee.edu. And we'll put that in the description of the episode after it goes online. Okay. And your hours, regular Monday through Friday?
Regular Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I have worked with, say, the Best Center, and I'm here a little bit later on campus. And I try very hard to meet the students where they are. So if they need slightly later hours, then I can shift my schedule a bit.
Yeah. We do the same thing here in online learning. If those hours won't work for you, email me some hours that will work for you, and we'll try and give it a go. So that's good to know. All right. So when we think about career services, is that really for students who already know what they want to do, or is it also for students who are just sort of figuring things out and like I like numbers, so I'm in accounting, but I don't really know what career I want just yet.
Yes. Career services is really for everyone. I've worked with our high school students who are taking ACE courses. I've worked with our regular students, both online and on campus. And I've worked with alum who have questions about resumes, who want some support and help. So I can help students explore paths. I can help start the process of compiling resume experiences. I have worked to understand the current job market in the GLOW region especially, and the job prospects in different fields. We can talk about and learn about different jobs in common fields. So if you're in the healthcare field, if you're in healthcares, it's not just nursing.
Right.
It could be 100 different job titles that are under that umbrella. So let's talk.
Great. So here's a fun question. What's something students are surprised to find out that you offer?
I don't know if it's so much what I offer that surprises them, but if I work with AEOC and the Myers-Briggs Company, and I am a strong interest inventory interpreter. So they can take the strong if they're really not sure what direction they're going. And then we can work together to interpret those results and see what might be of interest.
It's kind of like the test you took in 4th grade to see if you want to be a painter or a...
Exactly. But this is kind of the college version.
Okay, and probably a bit more sophisticated than your 4th grade version.
A little.
But that's good. I mean, so if you're really not clear, I can think of a dozen or so dual enrolled high school students that I've spoken with over the past semester that probably could benefit from that service.
Yeah, yep. And when I was in the Pathway to Success program working with rural high school students, I did quite a number of strong high school. So there's a high school version and then there's the adult version. And we did quite a few of the high school versions when students were just like, I just don't know.
Yeah.
And it didn't give them their career, but it gives a starting point.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was having this conversation with somebody in the office earlier today and talking about how your degree doesn't always match the career you end up with. And how many guests we've had on this program, and I always say, okay, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to work for GCC. And the paths that people have taken, you know, like I said, I used to hire programmers, and now I work with online students and work with and support online students in all kinds of career and majors. And you started as camp counselor, right? Or working as camp counselor.
Working in a summer camp.
And now come here and you're working with, you know, high school up through returning adult students with career exploration. So, you know, the path that you take is not always straightforward. So you could be, you know, 40, 50, 60s and still say, you know what? I think I want to take that career services test, and I think I want to see, just curious what it says.
Yeah. My whole goal is not to hand you a career, but to help you explore what you are looking for in a career. When I was a camp director, and I say this quite a lot, I never worked a day in my life. 27 years as a camp director, woke up every day. I never said, I have to go to work. I said, I'm going to camp. Right? And I loved my job. That's my goal for every student I work with. I want you to love what you do.
Right.
You're going to do it for a lot of years. And I want you to wake up in the morning and not say, I have to go to work.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm going to camp, or, yeah, I'm going to.
Right.
And that's what I'm hoping for.
I'm going to solve this problem today.
Yes.
I'm going to solve that problem today.
I'm going to send a satellite up into space, or I'm
Yes.
going to. So whatever it is you love to do, that's what I want for you.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. All right. More fun questions. I think this particular episode, we got a lot of fun questions here. This is neat. So this one, what is the biggest mistake that you see students make when they're career hunting or job hunting?
Oh, yeah. Yepper. So, again, not doing the research about your potential career or your job prospect. Research those careers. Again, we'll go back to ONET online, right? That's a great place. You might see in there, 90% of your day is on the phone. And you'll be like, I hate phones. What am I doing in this job? So research your career choices. Research the fields you want to go into. Research the companies when you get to that point where you're submitting a resume or applying for a job. I can't express enough. So here's pro tip number 2.
Okay.
Read and understand the job description when you're applying for a job, right? You should be paying attention to that, because that, in essence, is what you're going to do for the next however long, right?
Right.
And if you're like, oh, I have to sit in a cubicle and enter numbers into a spreadsheet, and that doesn't sound really happy and appealing to you, maybe it's not the right choice. So I think you should be paying attention to those job descriptions and understand what they're asking. Another area is pay attention to the benefits package. I know this sounds a little bit, a lot when you're going into an entry level, but that's a thing that you really should be thoughtful about. You might have a great benefit package and a little less in salary because they weigh each other out. You may have a great salary package, but that benefit package is like you get 2 days off a year. So those two things, reading those job descriptions and understanding those benefit packages, are my pro tips.
Okay. That's awesome. All right, so let's talk about something that's coming up soon, and I know that this is kind of exciting, and our students kind of get into it every year. This is something that we do every year, and it's really fun here at GCC, and that's the resume contest. So tell me about the resume contest.
So the resume contest is currently open. It opened on March 2nd. It will close on April 2nd at the close of business. Please understand that if you come on April 3rd and say, I tried to submit my resume, there is not much I can do to help you. You get a whole month to upload those resumes. It is open to all GCC students. If you're full-time, if you're part-time, if you are taking micro-credentials, if you are taking certificate programs, doesn't matter. Everybody can enter the resume contest.
Genesee for life?
Genesee for life.
Nice.
Absolutely. The contest is blind judged. So there's a panel of judges. All personal information will be redacted, so there isn't any bias. The entry form, and I'm going to probably say this a couple times, it's on the GCC Career Services page. So if you navigate to Campus Life and then to Career Services, you will find the entry form right there on that page.
Right, and we'll put that link in the episode description as well. As a matter of fact, I think that link might already be in the episode description. Because I saw the resume writing contest form was on that page.
Yes, it
before
is.
we even started. It's also on the social media posts for this episode. So, all right. I want to submit my resume for the contest. What makes a strong entry? Like if a student's sitting down to work on their resume right now to put it in the contest, what should they be thinking about?
2 key components here. One is format. So the font matters. The consistency in format matters, right? Don't do fancy, funny fonts like Comic Sans, because a lot of times those don't translate well. And people look at your resume like, what are they trying to say? I don't understand.
Pirate. I'm thinking you got to put the whole thing in pirate font.
Silly is not for resumes. So if you have a hot mess queen at yahoo.com is your email address. No. Or Party King 99. No. A professional contact is really important. And then the second key component is those bullet points of your skills and experiences. I have a handout. I can do it on paper, or I can send it to anybody who wants it via email as a link. It gives you some power verbs to start your bullet points. Achieved, demonstrated, right? It gives you probably a couple of hundred of them. So your bullet points of your skills and experience, that's the meat and potatoes of your resume.
Nice. So this is the kind of thing that Career Services would help a student prepare for.
So
they could even come see you before they submit the resume?
Oh, yeah. The cool thing is that already, since the contest opened, I have had several students just send me an email saying, can you review this? And I'm like, absolutely. I review, I make a couple changes. They don't even have to sit in my office with me or hit the Zoom. If they've got something they want me to review, I am more than happy to.
And no judgment.
No judgment
zone.
Unless it says
Even
hot
if
mess
it's hot mess
queen.
queen.
Then I might say, change your email address. That's my judgment.
Oh, see, you and I get lucky because we're old school. My Gmail address is literally my name. No extra numbers, no extra digits, no extra anything else like that. It's just my name, and it's an unusual name, which helps. But the reason I get it is because I got it way back when Gmail was invitation only.
Yeah. Yep.
This is the old magic, young ones. But yes, you've got to come up with something professional. Okay, so the resume contest. When's the deadline? Where do students go to enter? I think we talked about students go to enter.
But it's really good to do those details once more.
Okay.
Deadline is April 2nd, close of business. Resumes in general, I don't think we've had a paper one handed to us.
Okay.
I think most everybody goes through the online submission form, which is on the Career Services page.
Right.
Also, I want to note there are 5 $100 prizes.
Wow.
For resumes that have been submitted. So the judges have some discretion in handing out 5 different awards.
Nice. I did not know that.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, everybody listening, $100. You want it? Get in the resume contest, right? You can't win it if you're not in it. right?
Yep. And some of the categories are like best entry level, most impactful.
Right.
You don't have to have this pristine picture perfect. As the judges are reading it, they're thinking, oh, in this category or maybe in this category. But there are 5 categories, $100 prize in each.
Oh, nice. And when we say April 2nd, close of day is what, 4 o'clock? 5 o'clock?
I think it's 5 at this point. So.
Okay. So April 2nd at 5 o'clock. But of course, like everything else, don't wait till the last minute.
Don't wait. Start early.
Get it in there early.
Get it in there early.
Always best to do that. All right. Well, Marie, it's been great talking with you tonight. I'm so glad that you came by. And before I let you go, if a student's listening right now and they're thinking, yeah, okay, I probably should do something to get ready for, the end of this college journey thing. What's the one thing that you want them to do today?
Start the spreadsheet. Start the spreadsheet. All right. Commit to spending that 15 to 30 minutes per week thinking about and preparing for your career. It's a big deal. It's the next 25, 30, 35 years of your life. My pro tip number 3, don't do it alone. No. Have somebody else read your information. Have somebody else say, hey, remember when we were freshmen and we were in this club or we did this together? It's not on there. So reach out early for help. Have somebody else review and read your resume and your materials. It really does help. And I'll tell you a quick story. After 27 years in the camp world and COVID, I had to find some new opportunities. And I had to redo my resume. So I have a 20-something, 30-something-year-old son. And I'm thinking to myself, this will be easy. I'll just ship it by him. And holy moly, the red pen came out with a vengeance.
Payback!
Mom, no, this is bad. No, take this out. What are you thinking? He made me go through 7 iterations of my resume before he said, well, I guess this will have to do. I was heartbroken, but it was a really good learning experience.
Yeah.
That red pen taught me much more. So don't do it alone.
Right.
Get somebody else to help and do it with you. Yep.
And students can find you on campus or email.
Yep. It's career@genesee.edu. Or I'm in the Student Success Center on campus on the first floor in G113.
Okay.
Come and see me.
All right. Or make an appointment.
Make an appointment.
Come see you virtually. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. So this was great having you here.
I so enjoyed it. It really was amazing. I'm glad to be connected with the online students and getting the word out to anybody who wants to come.
Nice. And to all the students who are listening, whatever stage you're at, you're in your first semester, you're in your last semester. Career Services has something for you. As a matter of fact, if you're in your first semester, you're better off starting now. Don't wait for later.
Yes.
Don't wait for later. Later is now. And now I get to share with you our podcast mantra. I share this with all of our guests. Our mantra for our podcast, progress, not perfection.
I love that.
All right.
Makes me think of my resume when I restarted it 7 different times.
Progress,
not perfection.